Hello everyone, and welcome to Oracle Live. My name is Steve Miranda, and I am responsible for the Applications Division here at Oracle. Now, today certainly isn't a normal Oracle event, and really last year is nothing like normal for any of us. And what we're going to talk about today is the challenge that we've all been going through, how our customers have partnered with Oracle, and how you too could partner with Oracle to thrive and succeed and transform your business. Because really what we've been going through is a bit of a microcosm of what we've been talking about for a long time, that the speed of change, unexpected challenges to your business, unexpected opportunities in technology, you need to have a system and a partner that can work with you in order to help you transform, succeed, and to thrive. And we're going to show you examples from our product experts as well as our customers on how you can partner with Oracle to have that success. Now, clearly, we talked about the new normal, and what COVID has done is it's taken a number of areas that were nice to have or maybe even thought of as maybe we should do, and made them must have or front and center in our business requirements. Examples of which include working remotely, which many of us did to some extent before, but now our entire organizations are having to be set up to work remotely and need our systems to support that. Obviously, health and safety protocols, not only for our customers, but our employees have become front and center and really a changing dynamic in the workforce, which has put added stress to training our employees how to follow this health and safety protocols and or training the employees for new processes which needed to be in place because of the way you deal with your employees or your customers. Many of us have been striving towards digital customer experience, so being able to move to a fully dynamic digital interaction with our customers is now a must-have in front and center. In addition to that, those of which manage supply chain, obviously the pandemic put tons of pressure on single source supply chain or being able to plan the entire end-to-end supply chain flow. So once again, the ability to change quickly to ever-changing business or global environments has become more front and center through over the last 6 months. And finally, if you're in finance, while you've always been in charge of stewarding the enterprise and guiding the enterprise to what's happening from a financial perspective, the ever-changing business environment has put more pressure on finance to be able to guide the business. So now let's take a look at some of our customers and how they've been transforming using Oracle Cloud applications over the last 6 to 12 months.
When the world changes, it challenges all of us to pivot forward. At Oracle, we are proud of our customers who are meeting this challenge head-on, who made the pivot. Their efforts battling the most severe public health crisis in over a century are making a difference in people's lives, like the technology team at Mount Sinai, a New York-based hospital network that chose to go live with a new HR system for its frontline employees at the peak of the outbreak. And at the New York State Department of Health, more than 4,000 government employees stepped up to answer a flood of calls for the coronavirus hotline. Within an hour, workers were trained and ready to respond to questions from concerned citizens. The logistics team at Unilever, who navigated border closings in order to meet skyrocketing demand for cleaning and sanitation products. Administrators at the University of Wyoming didn't miss a beat processing student refunds for room and board when the virus shut the campus down. And the city of Los Angeles quickly launched an efficient online application process for residents most in need of COVID-19 relief funds. In the US epicenter of the crisis, while running one of the nation's busiest ERs, Mount Sinai made the pivot. At a time of record calls and record public anxiety, the New York State Department of Health made the pivot. Delivering consumers' preferred cleaners and sanitizers to local stores was a major challenge. Unilever made the pivot. Around the country, higher education was disrupted in countless ways, but the University of Wyoming made the pivot. The coronavirus profoundly impacted our most vulnerable individuals and families. But through a quick system distributing financial assistance, the city of Los Angeles made the pivot. We learn from our customers who possess the courage to change course and lead the pivot forward. We are proud to be a partner in their critical efforts. To our customers, we say,
So you just saw a number of our customers. Let me just call out three in particular that we're quite proud of. The first is the New York State Department of Health. So New York State Department of Health implemented our Service Cloud, and it allowed them to have that digital experience that I spoke of earlier with their constituents, patients and people who called in, had questions during the health crisis, really at the heart of it in New York State. So we're quite proud of our interaction and our partnership with the New York State Department of Health. The second, a very different example, the University of Wyoming. So University of Wyoming, just having their applications in the cloud and allowing Oracle to manage the systems on their behalf by taking care of the data center, taking the DBA administration, having the updates going quarterly without having to send any of their personnel into the office, they were able to seamlessly transition to a work from home method and keep their business running because of our cloud applications and cloud ERP applications. And the last example is Unilever. So Unilever was hit really from two fronts. First of all, they had supply chain disruption or changes, but secondly, they actually had an increase in demand of their supply chain supplying material that were needed to fight the pandemic. And Unilever, using our global supply chain, was able to adapt and adjust their business practices using cloud supply chain from Oracle. Now let's talk a little bit about how our most successful customers and partners are really defining their future and their way forward. The few common traits that we see amongst them, first of all, is building an agile organization. An organization that is able to not just come together once a year or once every several years to do a big project and a big transformation, but instead having an organization that's set up for incremental change and incremental improvement. As our customers have moved to the cloud and Oracle delivers continuous innovation and continuous enhancements to your product, having your organization ready to absorb those and change business practice is key to your success going forward. Next is continuous innovation. So having the ability to look not only at tactical changes to business process, but also at transformative changes to allow you to become not just reacting to the disruptor and be a defensive mode, but really change the way you do business. We've had organizations who've gone from product companies to service companies. And companies and organizations who've changed what they do fundamentally to offer new goods and services to their customer base and really take advantage and become the disruptor, not the disruptee. And finally, having our partners run on next generation technology. From the infrastructure that Oracle brings, ensuring that you no longer have technical debt, but run on the latest and greatest technology, which allows you greater reliability and greater performance. But more than that, having technical innovation in new things like voice user interface, machine learning, artificial intelligence, blockchain, and IoT, or Internet of Things, really allowing businesses to not just use technology for technology's sake, but rather technology in very specific application areas that drive real business value to you, your employees, and to your customers. So now let's discuss a little bit of what it's like for you to partner with Oracle. And really, our entire organization is driven around 5 tenets, focused first on our customer-first mindset. Clearly, the most important, and really what everything evolves around, is a customer-first mindset. And we've made a lot of changes over the years at Oracle to really transform ourselves from a product company to a service company. Since last time we talked, the changes we've made at Oracle are a couple. First, we've brought together within one single organization now our customer success, support, and development orgs. And we've done so that when you have the face to Oracle to implement your product, to go live with your product, and to have a success going forward, you're really dealing with one face of Oracle and one contact whose sole goal is to make sure that you are successful and adopt our product and get the business value that you set out when you started. In addition to that, we've redoubled our efforts on how to listen to our customers. So in the cloud model, clearly we get more signals, we get more telemetry in terms of how to manage the system technically, but we've really ramped up our investment in our Customer Connect, an online forum that lets every single one of our customers and our partners talk directly with our product managers, and importantly, talk directly with each other. And what we found is our customers are sharing best business practice, they're exploring ideas, and critically for us and you, they have an innovations tab where they're giving ideas of product enhancements or product improvements. And they have real-time dialogue with our product managers and our implementation partners on what they see in their business or their industries, how the product managers see as far as implementing. And as we go forward to implement, the great benefit for all of us is today, through that online connection, our product managers are talking directly with the end users who log those enhancements, who have those ideas. And that we found is the best way that we get accurate feature builds and innovation that really works for our customers. And so we're continuing to invest in that, and as we see that community grow, we're seeing success upon success upon success. Now, the different parts going with Oracle is one unique area we feel we have the most complete cloud, from EPM, core ERP and financials, manufacturing supply chain, HCM benefits and payroll, and then the CX products, sales, service, and marketing. However, as you all know who are customers, you do not have to adopt all. And in fact, most of our organizations start with one or maybe two product areas and pillars. The key thing now is, though, once you've made that initial investment, all of our customers always have all of the products available to them. And the good news is when you start to set up one of the products, that setup is inherited. So in other words, if you start with financials, you've set up things like your legal entity structure and your chart of accounts or your cost center structure. And you've set up enough of your HR hierarchy so that you can do approvals. The big business benefit there is now as you want to extend and implement HCM, guess what? Legal entities set up, cost centers are set up, employees are established. So you get a much quicker on-ramp. What that means is that initial success translates into faster subsequent success for you, our customers. In addition to that, we have the best technology platform that we build upon. And this benefits customers in a few different ways. First, as I alluded to earlier, this notion of technical debt now goes away. With our quarterly updates, you are always on the latest version of the database, of the operating system, of security patches, and then recently we've converted our customers over to our Gen 2 data center. So literally brand new state-of-the-art data centers for our cloud customers, all during your update, all as part of your normal SaaS service. Second is you get technology innovations which help you speed the application or better reliability. So again, infrastructure changes, database changes, et cetera. And then probably most importantly to the end businesses is we take technology and we apply that to make you more successful in business cases. The most notable area which all of you will start to see is our investment in machine learning and in voice user interface. With really transforming, in the case of HCM, every single UI now is available via traditional HTML as well as via voice or conversational user interface. Then you get to our fastest innovation. So we've really been on a cycle now of our quarterly updates. And during these quarterly updates, every product area averages over 100 enhancements per quarter. So what that means is whether you're in financials, CRM, HCM, supply chain, quarter after quarter after quarter, you have the ability to take advantage of hundreds of enhancement requests going forward. But very importantly, every enhancement request is turned off by default. So what this means, while the speed of change is very fast, you can adopt that change at your own pace. So when you go down for the updates and you come in the next morning, the system works exactly identical to the way you left it. However, you have now hundreds of new features which you can adopt, both technology innovations as well as functional innovations, so that you can continuously improve your business. And then finally, the modern user interface. And the modern user interface really taking two distinct forms. All of you will see in our latest release a brand new theme, new colors, new aesthetics, across-the-board improvement in all of our SaaS user experience, and we get tremendous feedback from you and tremendous ideas from you, our customers. On an ongoing basis, you're going to see improvements to the interaction, both the flow as well as what we call the components. So things like tables and list of values, the widgets which you interact with, continuously improving with a brand new user interface. But as I mentioned before, really number of areas will be eliminated entirely, or really eliminate the need to it, as we are moving to more and more voice or conversational UI. So the notion being as follows: just as today, you can get just about any information you want using your voice in your phone, and you can find weather forecasts, you can find sports scores, everything that's going on in the world. Well, now you can do that with your enterprise system. Using only your voice and the Oracle Digital Assistant, you can find out any information you need to securely that's in the Oracle Cloud. And really, these 5 components are the driving tenets. And when you hear about the sections that are coming up from the different product leads, you're going to see how we've implemented feature functions in each of these areas for all of your benefit. Now, let's move into the individual product areas and hear from the product experts about what's coming. And to start, I'll hand it to Chris Leone. Chris leads our Human Capital Management Development Group. Chris will talk to you about the latest innovations in HCM, as well as talk with an HCM customer about their success.
The theme of our event is the art of agility in the age of disruption. We have 4 key innovations that we're going to be talking to you about. Super excited to bring them to you. The first one is all about talent mobilization. And one of the key things that we heard from our customers was they wanted to mobilize key resources, key talent onto short-term projects. So we've delivered a key capability called Opportunity Marketplace that allows organizations to define very simple, what we call gigs, which are temporary assignments, where they can allocate resources, bring them quickly to a problem, and then they can go back to their full-time assignment. Really cool. We'll be bringing that to you and talking to you about that during the session. Second innovation that we're talking about or bringing is all about business best practices. We've been delivering business best practices in our system for many years. We're bringing to you something brand new called autocomplete. And autocomplete allows you to define defaulting and validation logic, and we're going to be delivering it in the library so you can pull it off the shelf and plug it into your system so you can change a process just like that. And then next, we're going to talk about information. The next innovation is all around how we deliver analytics to your desktop, bring to you best practice KPIs, great visualizations, and we can do it in hours. And the last innovation is called Journeys. And Journeys are a consumer-grade employee experience platform. So the experiences that typically we see are the onboarding experience and the offboarding experience. But we're going to fill that gap in the middle with experiences like career development, or you just got married. So we can improve the culture, help you grow your career, make things better, make you feel better about the company that you work for. So very excited to bring all these to you and excited for you to join us at the Oracle Live event. One of our HCM customers spoke with Steve earlier. Let's have a look.
Now it's time to welcome Rich Grandy. Rich is the Vice President of Total Rewards and HR Operations at Office Depot. Welcome, Rich.
Hey, Steve. Thanks for having me.
So, Rich, why don't you tell everybody about your role at Office Depot? And though obviously I'm sure all of us have either shopped there in person or online, you've been there for quite a journey in transformation. I've seen it grow and change. Give us a little bit of that background.
So I started back in 2006 in the compensation area, kind of grew up in the compensation area, And as my career progressed, my role became more and more expanded to my current role, where, as you mentioned, I'm VP of Total Rewards and HR Operations, which includes compensation, benefits, HR systems, our HR shared services team, and payroll. I've seen a lot in my time. It's been almost 15 years. Moving away from a traditional retailer, we've had a merger with OfficeMax back in, I think, 2013. We had a near acquisition with Staples back in 2015. And under our current leadership, we're in a large transformation, moving to a business services platform for small, medium, and enterprise businesses. So it's been a great ride.
We talk all the time about companies changing, through M&A or through the divestitures and through changing business models. You guys have done all the above. And in addition to that, we've partnered with you for quite some time now, really transforming your back office from eBusiness Suite and JD Edwards to the financials and supply chain cloud. But you're working with us on the HR transformation, moving from PeopleSoft to the HCM cloud. So why don't you give the audience a bit of a background on how that move is going and the different steps that you've taken?
In 2017, we decided as an organization to increase our partnership with Oracle. The Fusion HCM platform had really caught our eye, and we went forward and started the partnership in October of 2017. We broke it up into different phases. We ended up going live, what we call phase one, with compensation and the learning platform, which required us to stand up what we called Core HR Lite. About 6 months later, we went full core HR, and it became our system of record. Shortly followed by payroll, January right after that of 2019. And then finally, we went live with the recruiting cloud module in April of 2019.
Wow, that's quite a busy year and a half going learning, compensation, recruiting, core HCM, and payroll for a size of Office Depot. Now, you've gone through a lot of changes in the business, a lot of changes on technology. Let's talk a little bit now about HR. Kind of what was the approach to HR before March, and then now during the pandemic? What have been some of the challenges you all have been dealing with?
We're in the midst of a transformation, as I mentioned before, looking at kind of the talent we have within the organization, what our business model was, and ultimately what the HR strategy would be to support the business and the pivot that our CEO, Jerry Smith, has us on. COVID definitely threw a little curveball at us back in March. I think I can speak on behalf of most HR professionals. Our world was turned upside down. So not only do we have to focus on, making sure the business continues and get the right talent in place, but we also have a situation where now that we have COVID and, we have associates that unfortunately have been impacted, putting in processes to make sure that, they're taken care of, that the business continues. However, showing empathy and being able to make sure that, the associates realize that we're there for them.
Difficult balance in a difficult time. Now, you mentioned earlier the work with us on Learning Cloud as well as recruiting. And, back in 2018, those are pretty new products. Maybe tell the audience, what some of the benefits and why you guys were aggressive moving to new areas and how partnering with Oracle, helped you achieve some solutions to some business challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first and foremost, moving to the recruiting cloud, we were one of the first large companies, especially with a self-service environment, to move to the recruiting cloud. We were previously with PeopleSoft and leveraged the eRecruit module, which had some benefits, but it was relatively antiquated. And so we saw the value in being able to move to cutting edge and most importantly, being able to partner with Oracle and be able to help, I think, formulate the product going forward to really accommodate large companies like ourselves.
Well, it's been such an incredible journey. You listed all the products you've already implemented, but I have to ask, so now that you've gone through all that success, what's next in your partnership with Oracle?
Next is really getting our arms around the analytics. We have a lot of data now in the cloud, and moving away from PeopleSoft, everything was self-service, as I mentioned. People could do their own queries. Now we're in a situation where there's still demand for that information, but the people don't have the ability to pull it. So really getting a data strategy and analytics strategy and getting to more kind of proactive and predictive analytics.
Well, Rich, it's been quite a journey. We are extremely proud of our partnership. We talk about all the time companies dealing with M&A and growing and transforming and becoming disruptors rather than being disrupted. And you guys have really pivoted and moving through a tremendous business transition. And thanks for being partners with us. We hope to continue your journey. Congratulations on all the success so far. And thanks for being here with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. I appreciate the partnership.
Always great to hear from a customer, and fantastic to hear the highlights of what's coming in HCM. Next, I'd like to introduce Rick Jewell. Rick leads our manufacturing and supply chain products, and Rick's going to give you all the highlights that's coming in those areas.
Well, at the risk of stating the obvious, the supply chain world has been tremendously disrupted in the last 6 months, and conversations have changed drastically, both at the dinner tables as well as in boardrooms. I would hazard a guess that 99% of the world's population now knows the word supply chain and has a new respect and appreciation for the importance of the systems and the people who deliver products. Equally so, in the boardrooms, they're having an entirely new set of conversations. And the topics that they're talking about now are things like resiliency, sourcing alternatives, automation, and flexibility are all top of mind. So what we see going forward is a paradigm shift. We're moving from the current model of making in the East, shipping, and selling in the West, is going to be replaced with a new model to where you make where you sell, and then you supply where you make. My session is going to drill down and explore further that paradigm shift. Craig Halterman, the CIO of Cohu, will join me during that session and talk about the implementation of our supply chain cloud. Now, in addition to my session, there are 3 more supply chain sessions. The first of those is around supply chain planning. And accurate demand management and supply planning are absolutely key and will be for a while. The second topic is sustainability. And in that session, we will talk about how sustainability has quite honestly just become a table stake. Automation and sustainability are givens as companies start to think about building new manufacturing facilities closer to their customers. Then the last session, John Barkis from our Industry Solutions Group will talk about how some customers have leveraged our cloud solutions to drive continuous change and continuous innovation into their organizations. So all very exciting sessions. I hope you can join us.
Thanks, Rick. That was great to hear about manufacturing and supply chain. Now, let's shift gears a little bit, and instead of hearing from our customers and our executives, let's actually show you what product looks like. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to our Vice President of Product Development, Jennifer Briscoe. What Jennifer's going to show you is really a combination of our cloud, CX, and supply chain, having a business transformation and using brand new technology to make it all come alive, and as an example of how changing dynamics, changing business environment, combined with new technology could really lead to some innovative solutions. Jen, take it away.
Hey, thanks, Steve. What a whirlwind of changes we've all been through these past few months. Instead of being in a room with you all, I'm out here with my husband, Dan.
Hi, everyone.
I've recruited him to help me with this demonstration. Our labs are always working on new interactions that improve business outcomes for all kinds of users. I'm going to show you one such experience that translates consumer buying experiences into the B2B landscape. The app on my screen represents a reimagined sales experience. It's framed around the transformation underway currently in the restaurant industry, specifically expansion using food trucks rather than indoor locations. Now, the sales rep would use this application to show buyers options in real time. Now, the app's been pre-populated with what the account team already knows about the opportunity with Red's wood-fired pizza. By incorporating technologies like machine learning, Oracle Cloud applications are able to make smart recommendations based on what other customers in this same industry have already purchased. People are visual creatures. We feel better about what we're buying when we can see it, so we're going to render our food truck with a 3D model. Now we need to make some decisions about kitchen equipment. Let's see what's in the base kitchen. It has a generator, and it even has an ice cream dispenser. I also see a recommendation for a wood-fired pizza oven. Out of the box, Oracle Cloud applications are smart enough to know that Red's wood-fired pizza needs a wood-fired oven. I just love that I can see the fire in the oven through the service window, and I'm betting buyers will too. Oh, it looks like that wood-fired oven is on backorder. Oracle applications are a suite, which means they can surface information like inventory and lead order times early in the selling process. In our food truck scenario, this delay is unavoidable. You simply can't make wood-fired pizza without that wood-fired oven. So we'll accept that delay and go on to the next steps. Here the app is making a recommendation for an air conditioner. Wood-fired ovens give off a lot of heat, so I'm going to choose the larger unit. Uh-oh. Looks like that larger unit is incompatible with the generator that comes with the base kitchen. Let's accept the upgrade. One of the most powerful elements of any buying experience is being able to see the end product in the real world. Let's take a look. Ta-da! Look at that. That is way cool. This is a life-size 3D rendering of our food truck. How many of us can say we built a life-size food truck in our backyards while working from home? Now my iPad is rendering the 3D truck, but the iPad Dan is holding is merging my body with the 3D truck in the same view. Now if I'm buying a fleet of trucks, I definitely want to know what they'll look like with my branding. Enabling customers to make it their own is a powerful way to create a visceral connection with the end product, and it boosts buyer confidence. Let's check it out. Having the real truck right here makes decisions like menu placement and font size and where to put condiments really easy. I have got to get a hat like that. Let's go inside. It's super easy to imagine how efficient the workspace is going to be. That pizza looks yummy. It's hard to believe this is not really here. Oh, hey babe. It's got a sunroof. That's hilarious. Let's check out the cab. I'll get back out of the truck now. Oh yeah, this baby looks awesome. Let's hit the road. That's a short preview of how we at Oracle think about the next generation of cloud applications and how we incorporate continuous innovation. This is really just the beginning, and I can't wait to see what we cook up next. With that, I'm gonna head inside and get me some wood-fired pizza. See ya! Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jen. That was really great, innovative work by you and your team. What it really showed you, again, was the combination of brand new technology combined with our suite of applications, not just supply chain, but also CX, and how a new business challenge, how we combined and reacted to that to give a best-in-class solution. And really that solution, though we gave you one example, applies to many, many areas and really brings to life what we've been talking about for a while: speed of innovation, completeness of suite, solid technology underneath, in one example of how you can become a truly innovative and next-generation business. Now let me introduce Rondi Ng. Rondi leads our financial applications in the cloud. And Rondi's going to give you the latest innovations of both ERP and EPM, as well as we'll be discussing innovations with a customer of ours. Rondi, over to you.
Thanks, Steve. Now, clearly over the last few months, it's been extremely challenging for many of our customer-specific environments. Now, despite that, we have had a lot of very good customer momentum, in particular the go-lives over the past few months. Now, let me give you a few examples in there. Now, first, we got MGM Resorts. They went live with financials in July. Kroger, as well as Office Depot, also went live full end-to-end ERP and supply chain. We got Macquarie Bank in Australia went live with second phase of the core financials. A special mention that I'd like to call out is Federal Express. Now, Federal Express has been on our cloud ERP for quite a few years, but they are actually still going through expansion in many different phases. They just actually finished their phase 4, which actually brought in 20 additional countries, bringing a total of over 47 countries worldwide on our cloud ERP. On the innovation front, there are a few things that I'd like to call out. Now, first, we have predictive planning, which is a brand new EPM capability leveraging machine learning to help our customers to predict their financial as well as operational forecasts. We have expanded significantly on our digital assistance capabilities. So in addition to expenses, we have expanded to time card entry in the project space. We have added a lot of automation in terms of transaction processing, including bringing in automated document recognition with machine learning on payables, invoices, expense receipts, together with cash receipts. Now, last but not least, we have significantly expanded a lot of the industry capabilities, especially around the asset and capital-intensive industries. We have joint venture management targeting for oil and gas. We have lease management targeting a lot of the asset industries as well. Now, the upcoming Apps Live event is going to feature myself together with my colleague, Matthew Bradley. We're going to actually interview a couple of key customers together with talking a lot of the innovations that we just mentioned earlier. Now, in addition to that, we are going to have a deep dive on EPM. We are going to cover a lot about the predictive planning capabilities that I mentioned earlier. We will have a session on digital finance transformation with a few more customers. But last but not least, we are going to show you some of the newer generation innovation with some of the Redwood user interfaces together with a lot of great machine learning capabilities. And my team is going to do the demo together with kind of all these customers that we're going to showcase. Now, let's hear from one of our ERP cloud customers who caught up with Steve earlier.
Now it's my pleasure to introduce Tim Regan. Tim is the Chief Financial Officer at Dropbox. Thank you for joining us, Tim.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
I think most of the audience probably knows about Dropbox, or at least heard about Dropbox. Could you take a moment, though, explain your role with the company, kind of history?
So I've just taken over the CFO seat, and to give you some color on Dropbox, we keep files and teams in sync anywhere at any time, which, what better time to be offering products that do exactly that? We have over 600 million customers around 180 countries. We also have 550 billion pieces of content. From a financial perspective, we're guiding to 1.9 billion in revenue this year. And something that I'm very proud of and I hold near and dear to my heart, we plan to be GAAP profitable this year and have been for the first few quarters of the year. We've largely started as an individual consumer company, and we found that a lot of people bring us into their work. And about 80% of our users use us for work. And so that's really helped us evolve into a team-based solution where now we have over 500,000 business teams.
Well, congratulations on so many parts of that. Congratulations on your appointment to this Chief Financial Officer, on 600 million. I think of you as a young organization, so that's got to be 0 to 600 million customers in a record-setting pace. With all that success, given the state of the new normal or the normal we're in today, how has demand for your products changed?
Our CEO likes to call this shift to work from home as something similar to the shift to cloud or mobile, just how dramatic this moment is that we're all facing. We've seen a 20% uptick in our trial starts relative to pre-COVID levels on our base product. And then we're seeing success in the education vertical in particular. And you can think about how are faculty and students staying in sync and sharing files back and forth. And that's where Dropbox is really helping them get that work done.
Yeah, it's interesting. I would have never thought about the industries like higher education, who probably went from very small demand to all of a sudden a necessity of your service, part of their role. Now, you all have been longtime partners and customers of ours, specifically in Oracle, the ERP cloud around financials, and the EPM cloud. What has it been like to be an Oracle cloud customer in ERP and in EPM?
It's been a very positive partnership, a positive experience. First and foremost, particularly as a chief accounting officer, my main responsibility is making sure the books are clean. First and foremost, we've never had an issue closing the books with Oracle. It's always been timely, it's always been accurate, and you've always made sure that we were successful. So I appreciate that very much. We have a lot of small dollar, high volume transactions, particularly given you think about our subscriptions, which are $10 a month. Getting that information into our systems in an automated way has been important, because when I started at Dropbox, we were doing that all manually. They had these spreadsheets that would take 4 hours to refresh. To get that information into Oracle in an automated way, in a fast way, where now we can just do analysis, that has been critical to our success as a finance team.
Well, let's expand on that a little bit. Maybe you could talk a little bit about, within your finance organization, efforts you have to utilize data to help you drive the organization, and how is Oracle playing a part in that?
One of them is ROI analysis. As we're journeying into this GAAP profitability and focused on profitability, making sure that our spend is efficient and that we're driving the right level of return on our investments. And so this is where understanding how we are spending our money and how are we driving the right level of revenue and return against those initiatives is going to be and has been very important for us. It's about getting the data organized and then getting it out and then in the hands of our users on a much faster basis. That's really going to enable us to be successful as we continue to drive the right ROI on our work.
Great. I could see, especially a company that's growing as fast as you are, introduces many new services, that ROI calculations is fundamental to how you steward the business. Let's shift gears a little bit then. And say, again, thank you for being longtime partners of ours. You've obviously grown very successful using financials EPM. But what do you see coming potentially next in terms of our partnership together? What other areas are you looking to implement, and how is that going to help Dropbox ultimately succeed?
Automation and data. And I'd focus on those two categories: driving scale through automation and minimizing manual effort, and then clean data in the hands of our decision makers as fast as we could get it there. And so a few specific areas that we're focused on is call it the next evolution of OCR, intelligent document recognition, so IDR. And so that's an area we are focused on and looking at expanded use of Oracle Analytics Cloud, just to get data out of our systems into the hands of our business partners, and Fusion Analytics Warehouse, another tool to help us with dashboard level reporting. Anything else along these lines, and this is where we're focused on emerging technologies and capabilities, whether that's digital assistants or various other tools that really address those challenges.
No, that's great. Again, Tim, we can't thank you enough for spending time talking to us and talking to the audience. And again, congratulations on all the success, although you don't need me to say it. If you got 600 million customers, that's quite a testament in itself. So we very much appreciate your time, appreciate your partnership, and we look forward to continued success.
Thanks very much, and looking forward to the journey ahead.
Boy, it's great to see an organization that has a surge in demand. It was also great to catch up with Dropbox and Tim. For Tim, this was not only his second implementation of cloud financials, it was actually his second IPO after he'd moved onto cloud financials. So we're quite proud of our engagement with Dropbox and our partnership with Tim and his group. Now, moving to our customer experience area, I'm going to hand it to Rob Tarkoff, and Rob will go through our sales, service, and marketing and give you the updates on all the innovations coming in those areas. Take it away, Rob.
Thanks, Steve. Oracle CX is investing heavily in 4 key areas. The first area is unified platform. All Oracle CX products are now on the Fusion platform, which is shared across Oracle Finance, HR, Supply Chain, and CX. This common infrastructure, database, data model, and shared Fusion services is going to bring accelerated time to value to all of our customers. In fact, customers like Motorola are taking advantage of this common platform of workflow and data models to work across the front and back office and accelerate their transformation to a subscription business. The second area of investment is in guided experience. Oracle CX is now supporting all frontline employee productivity by launching next-generation Redwood UX applications. Not only is Redwood a beautiful and modern user experience and design system, but it's a UI enriched by data, powered by machine learning, and guiding next best employee actions, whether that's a salesperson, a marketing professional, or a customer service representative. The third area is customer intelligence. Oracle Unity is our CX customer intelligence platform that enables all companies to unify customer data across their front and their back office systems. This is how you truly get a 360-degree single view of your customer. We're announcing key enhancements, including full business-to-business support, deeper ad tech integration into our Oracle Data Cloud stack, which no other brand is doing, and richer personalization capabilities and partnerships with partners like consent management platforms SourcePoint and OneTrust. And last but not least, Oracle is doubling down on providing innovative industry-specific solutions. We are launching our first vertical CX solution for the communications and media industries. It's a set of capabilities across sales, service, product launch to deliver faster and better cross-channel commerce and care. For those of you who'd like to find out more about these product innovations, I invite you to Oracle Live for CX. You'll hear from senior executives from companies like Starbucks and McKinsey and Disney Studios. So I'm excited to share with you a recent conversation I had with Jerry Martin Flickinger, EVP and CTO at Starbucks. We are extremely excited to have with us today Jerry Martin Flickinger, the EVP and CTO at Starbucks. So Jerry, great to have you here. Maybe tell us a little bit about how you got to Starbucks and a little bit about your background.
Thank you, Rob. Yes, I joined Starbucks in 2015 as their Chief Technology Officer. And since then, we've been on a transformation foundationally across all areas of tech. Starbucks Technology is responsible for supporting technology in the stores, the technology that touches our customers, like mobile applications, and the technology that supports our corporation, like finance, HR, supply chain. And it's been a fun journey because if you think about Starbucks, we are all about human connection. We are about being a warm and welcoming place. And so we've been spending the last few years really rebuilding the foundation just so that we could enhance human connection going forward.
That's great. And as you're doing that, you obviously we're all emerging from one period, which is sort of the immediate response to the triage of the pandemic, and now sort of pivoting to the emergence of a new normal. I think you and Starbucks are doing an amazing job thinking about what the future is going to be. Maybe you can share a little bit about your thoughts on that topic.
We were fortunate that we had some indication from China and our China business to anticipate a little bit about what might happen as the pandemic grew. At the very beginning, we unified around our mission and values, which really gave us strength to identify 3 principles that we have stayed true to this entire time. The first is really focusing on keeping our partners and our customers safe. The second is really in supporting our government and our health officials as they have navigated us through this process of the virus management. And the third is really helping our communities, doing everything we can to keep our communities vital and helping each other any way that we can find.
That's great. And so a lot of people have been talking about for several months now, what'd you do to change your business as you're transforming the customer experience? You're always thinking about how you really enable that through connecting all your data and systems from the back office into the front office. Maybe you can talk just briefly about how you're doing that and how you've been able to make that such a priority.
So Rob, remember earlier when I mentioned that we've been on a transformation journey? Well, really that transformation was all about building the foundational technology that would help bring us closer to customer and partner connection. We've been really focusing on building for scale and resiliency, and we've largely done this through leveraging more and more cloud capabilities. We've also been focused on architecting data exchanges, which is really the foundational powerhouse for many of the AI ML techniques we've been using, including capabilities for real-time personalization and intelligent automation. We've also taken the time to really think about modern architecture and engaging microservices and event streaming, even things like blockchain, into many, many of our solutions. It would be very important to mention that we continue to focus on designing for that connection of physical and digital integration.
I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about some advice for your peers. What advice would you give them on how to navigate the changes and be a good leader?
Actually, I do get asked that quite a lot. And I always start with the most important answer. You have to listen. And you have to listen to everybody. You listen to your peers, you listen to your mentors, you listen to leaders. But lately I found I also listen to my kids a lot. I learn a lot from them about what that next generation of leaders is going to be thinking and dreaming and wanting. The second thing that is incredibly important is always put people at the core. Even if you're a technologist, you need to start with people. You have to get people excited about your vision. You have to be able to help them see the future. And so I think that if you really start with people at the center, listening always, that the best technology always enhances human connection, that really is all there is to it.
While we're talking about technology, obviously Oracle is partnering with you. Can you just talk briefly about how Oracle is helping you in some of this transformation?
Oracle solutions are part of our corporate tech portfolio, including financials, supply chain, transportation. We use Exadata for some of our data properties. Most of these systems are providing data elements that are used in our enterprise data warehouse and are driving our ML algorithms. Today, if you go into a Starbucks company-owned store, you'll see Oracle Symphony point of sales. In addition to all of that, Oracle CX services are used in our call centers, both our customer call centers, our partner contact centers, and our facility support centers for our stores. So with all these solutions, they really provide the backbone of our business and are essential to our moment-to-moment operation across Starbucks.
So, Jerry, just as we close, what's some of the stuff that might be exciting as we move forward?
There's lots that we've been working on that's exciting. We are exploring a lot of convenience store formats. We are also doing a number of things that are exciting with artificial intelligence and machine learning, which we'd love to talk more about, and I'm sure we will in the next session.
I just want to say, Jerry, thank you. I know this was a shorter segment. If you're interested in diving deeper, I ask you to join us for our longer session. Jerry Martin Flickinger, great to see you. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Rob. I'll see you later.
Thanks to Rob and thanks to Starbucks for helping us out today and giving you all a perspective on our customer experience applications. Now, next is our very exciting user experience area. And for the latest updates and developments there, let me hand it over to Hillel Cooperman. Hillel, what's new in UX?
Last fall at Oracle Open World, we introduced a brand new consumer-grade user experience design system for all of Oracle, especially for our enterprise SaaS suite. We call it Redwood. And the biggest question you had for us at the time was, when are we going to see this? Well, the answer is right now. Already in the 20C release of the enterprise SaaS suite, and also with additional polish and features coming in 20D, we have released the first version of the Redwood user experience. Remember, the Redwood user experience is all about bringing consumer-grade user interface, consumer-grade flows, consumer-grade interactions to enterprise experiences for your users, your employees, for your admins, for developers, and for everyone who's part of the process. These first releases are just the first version. We're out there with you right now, hoping we're going to be able to learn a lot, hoping we're able to grow, take your feedback, and make it even better. And going forward, we're working on all sorts of new capabilities that you haven't even seen yet that will all embody the state-of-the-art Redwood design system and bring the enterprise SaaS suite to the next level. So we really appreciate your patience. Thanks for checking out our latest innovations, and we're excited next year to show you even more. Thanks so much.
So I want to thank you all for joining us again for this Oracle Live event. And I want to invite you all to explore other Oracle Live events that are available now that drills down into each of the areas that you saw previewed today. So you can find the latest and greatest and more details about the application areas which you are interested in, or maybe some that you're exploring for future use. In addition, I'd like to thank all of our customers who spoke with us today and hopefully gave you a flavor for not only the success that they're seeing with the applications today, but how they're using the innovation of the application to transform and stay current at best-in-class organizations with their partnership at Oracle. And we saw a great demo, a demo which not only showcased the breadth of the application suite that we have, it showcased how we interact with technology and new technology, and how real businesses can use that to transform how they're doing business and, in fact, change business models. And though we gave you one example in one small industry, really that's applicable in many different ways across many industries. And we talk about a breadth of suite and our foundational technology. It's that scaling to all industries, which is really the key going forward. So the time is now for all of you to partner with Oracle, share in the success, follow the lead of some of the customers you've had today. I very much look forward to working with all of you. Thanks again for your time. Stay safe and hope to speak soon.